like, so you see through like Y Combinator, all these sort of, you have like a broad purview into, you know, sort of everything, a lot of interesting B2C internet companies, or I guess B2B too. Like, in your mind, what are the most interesting trends happening online right now?
Oh, geez.
Besides Hitmonk and, like, you know,
damn it,
and Tutors, Hitmonk, and Grub with us. You know.
I think that Hitmonk is part of something much bigger that Lord Jobs started a while ago, which was giving sort of normal people expectations of quality in terms of design, and building this appreciation for a well-designed, simple, elegant product. And then you've seen so many iterations of this that sort of fall under the user experience umbrella, whether it's like Zappos making like customer service is what's going to matter at Zappos. The hell with what we sell, customer service is going to matter. People will feel good using our product. To smaller things that seem so trivial, like Instagram, which is like, let's find an easy way for people to take interesting photos and share them. But to do it so elegantly and so well, and to create value for people with as little sort of thinking as possible, is very, very big right now. I think it's so sad that we've come so far and that businesses are now going, if we just made user experiences good, that could be a great business model. But apparently so many people have just not given a damn for so long that I think there's so many opportunities for startups to just build really elegant, really great user experiences to solve things that people have neglected.
And so do you think about broader trends? Like, for example, I made a bunch of investments recently in education, you know, online education, for example. Like, do you think about, you know, those kinds of things, or are you just sort of case by case?
I'm in love with Khan. Of course, Khan Academy is a nonprofit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
But it is hard to argue that education is not broken right now, and that the means of getting it are quite broken. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think if I see. Oh, we haven't done enough in the education round. I can speak to a non-YC startup though, like SeatGeek, which I have no affiliation
we're investors,
to.
Actually.
God, we just can't help but be biased, can't we? But that's a great example of like, here's something that it's such a broken industry in so many ways, but it was an area where no one just gave a damn about making a great user experience for finding a good ticket. And I think this is all part of a bigger thing, and it ultimately is going to mean great stuff for all of us as end users. Like, I can't wait to see all the things that people come up with fixing.
So people say there's kind of like a bubble going on, especially at the early stage, especially around like Y Combinator companies, where you see them coming out, you know, maybe 3 years ago the valuation would be, you know, $3 million, and now it's 10. I've seen like 15
or $1 billion
or uncapped notes or whatever. And you know, do you think that this is? I guess what I worry about is this sort of. I mean, I hope we're entering a new wave of innovation and more people starting things, and you know, not sort of going to Wall Street or doing whatever the alternative would be. Yeah. But I worry sometimes that maybe it's you know, it's just a fad, or you know, it's trendy, or.
Yeah, you know, if they had just cast someone other than Justin Timberlake in The Social Network, I think they would have made it look much less cool. Yeah,
that definitely had some impact. Yeah.
And dude, I will try to meet, and I can't meet with enough startup founders, but the ones I love meeting with are the actual builders. I occasionally end up in meetings with two people who just are totally at square one, and now I just send them to links of other people who've sort of explained what to do if you just have an idea and want to be the next Mark Zuckerberg but can't actually build it. That stuff gives me pause, because when people like that start getting funding, especially given that it doesn't take that much money to get one of these things started anymore, that sort of thing gives me pause. And I could say with a straight face that it wasn't too bubblicious, and then I saw color and was like, oh right, all right, well, way to go guys, thanks. Fortunately, what I think, oh God, you always get in trouble for saying it's different this time. This is gonna be great footage like 10 years from now. One of the things that I think is very different is now any sane founder knows that she only needs a place to stay, food, and minimal costs to get those servers running. And you know, let's hear it for more choice to diversify from Amazon's offerings. And so it doesn't take a lot of money. And I think any sane smart founder is not going to take obscene amounts of money. And so whatever bubble is being created, because there is one for sure, hopefully won't have nearly as big of a fall because it's not involving too much cash.
I think what you've seen in sort of like past kind of bubbly-ish things is, I don't want to say the word bubble, but you've seen kind of like, you know, some kind of rise, like over-exuberance, some kind of fall, but then in the good ones, there's sort of like a genuine sort of underlying trend, you know, which so there will be some there are some people getting funded now, for example, at prices that are not sane, and they're probably raising too much money, I think, as you pointed out.
It's not your money, people. I don't know which camera I'm supposed to talk into,
well,
but
but
this is not your
only
money.
that, it's just like the more money you take on, you know,
the less equity you've got.
Well, that and the more responsibility you have, you know, like you're going to have to beat that valuation next time. Otherwise, you're going to probably be fired, and there's a down round, and you're going to get squeezed out. And like, you know, I don't think a lot of people now haven't lived through that down cycle. But at the same time, I'm optimistic because, you know, you have so many, I think like Y Combinator has been a big part of this, which is that you have provided an alternative to these people who are super talented, who would have gone to like McKinsey or Goldman Sachs or law school, and now see, you know, startups as a viable career path, which I think is bringing a whole new set of talent into our industry, which I think should grow the pie. Like what I hate are these analyses that say here's the total number of total amount of, you know, exits and VC dollars last year. Here's how much was funded. There's no way this is sustainable. With sort of the assumption being that you can't kind of grow the pie and I hope things like Y Combinator and incubators, I think some of these, you know, seed investors and just mentors like you and other people have you know, brought new people into the industry, and maybe through that we'll grow the pie, even if we may see some bumps along the way. But
and dude, I'll tell you, there is definitely, and I wasn't around for the first one because I was in high school, but everyone I've spoken to who was out there during the first bubble and was dealing with the people with the money noticed a very different culture. It was a lot more that banker, big swinging dick style culture where I'm going to come in here and, you know, let you know just how important I am. Whereas the best investors of today are, I think, some of the most humble or some of the most approachable and some of the most useful. And that's kind of cool to see that culture shift, because now all of a sudden the big swinging dicks realize that, oh yeah, that may have worked at the frat house, but you're not impressing anyone. And now that we don't need your money as much as, you know, we would have a decade or two ago, you got to start playing by different terms, and that's cool. I mean,
that's definitely changed. I mean, I've lived through the last one. It's definitely changed. I mean, because now capital is kind of a commodity, and you need to and you need to, you know, as an investor, show you're going to be valuable and helpful and not a jerk, which, as a believe it or not, makes, you know, separates.
Dude, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah.